Welcome back to FM23. We're in the final months of our time at Athletic Bilbao. We've got a very important second leg of the quarterfinal of the Champions League coming up against Napoli. We're level at 2-2, so hopefully home advantage can see us through. So without further ado, let's get straight to that game. Before we do get started, if you do enjoy the video, please like, comment, subscribe, and let's get straight into it. So we're going to the home leg against Napoli. We're still without John Guerrero. He's fit enough to win the bench, but not to start. Unai Ribeiro's coming to the team. Baronet's coming to the team. Sanset's dropped back into the defensive midfield role. But otherwise, it's the same team that started against Napoli in the first leg. We drew 2-2, so hopefully home advantage, and hopefully we can put in a performance like we did against Bayern Munich and against Celtic in the home legs of those ties, where we won those comfortably. And do note that Napoli have dropped Danny Rodriguez, so hopefully that's a good sign for us that he's not going to pop up and score a winner, but he's probably come off the bench and score in injury time to knock us out. Right, ideally a quick start. Serrano with a corner. Come back to him. We've certainly put them under pressure early on here. Another corner from Nico Serrano. Back to him again. Cuts inside. Oh, he was offside. Right, Javi Lopez with a throw. Oh, he's found Juregi at the back post. What a header. Javi Lopez to Barrera. Back to Javi Lopez. Swings a crossover. And Juregi rises above the header at the back post. And that's exactly the start we needed. Now, let's please not do anything stupid at the back. Right, they've got a free kick. It's gone straight through to the keeper, though. Barrera, please don't give it away there. Oh, Quintana has nicked it back. I thought that was a foul. Going all the way into Juregi. Oh! Just overran it. Took one touch too many. Now we've got a freak on the edge of the box. Unai Ribeiro to take. Oh, when he's hit the ball. So hopefully these chances aren't going to come back to haunt us. We've kept it pretty tight at the back, but we keep wasting chances like this. It's a sign that we could go out. But overall, exactly what we wanted from that first half. We came out quick. We scored the early goal. We've put them under pressure and we've not allowed them any chances. Great stuff. Right, Hugo Gilman with a free kick. Please don't give the ball away. Nico Serrano to Javi Lopez. Now they're going to break. Oh no, we've nicked it back. Unai Ribeiro. Oh! I could have wrapped it up. Nico Serrano driving forward. And set to Maturana. Oh! And we've made semi-finals of the Champions League. And we've got Liverpool in the semi-finals, who we beat earlier on in the season. So hopefully we can repeat that in the semi-final. So we've made it to the final day of the league season. By and large, since the Napoli game, things have gone quite well. But unfortunately, the Champions League dream is dead. The first game after the tie against Napoli was a league game against Almeria. They started off pretty well, but we managed to take the lead through Nico Serrano. And then from that point onwards, we really dominated the game. We ended up winning 3-0. Sunset picked up the second goal just after the hour, and Nico Serrano added a second for himself from the penalty spot in the last 20 minutes. We then played at home to Atletico Madrid, and this was the game that really kind of probably put the final nail in the coffin of the title hopes. They were 2-0 up after 12 minutes. The first goal, I think, was after 21 seconds. We pulled a goal back shortly after that, but just on the half hour, they went 3-1 up. Unai Ribeiro managed to get a second just before half time to pull us back. to 3-2, but we really needed to push for it in the second half. And eventually we did get an equaliser through Ander Benito, but once we got the equaliser, we never really looked like going on and managing to pick up a winner. We then had the first leg of the semi-final against Liverpool away at Anfield. Julian Guerrero was back fit, so we had pretty much our first choice team available for this game. Obviously Liverpool have got a decent team, but we did beat them at Anfield earlier on in the season, so we were hoping that we could possibly come out on top again. Unfortunately, things didn't start very well when they scored a header after 15 minutes. We then compounded matters with a ridiculous pass from Quintanilla. Hoyland nicked in and then dinked it over the keeper for 2-0 just on half time. And then just when we were pushing to get back into the game, Gary Willis scored from the edge of the box. And that was 3-0 down. And really we didn't perform. It was one of our worst performances in the knockout stage of the Champions League. And we put far too much pressure on ourselves going into that home leg. I mean, we'd beaten Bayern Munich 3-0 at home. We beat Celtic 4-0 at home. We beat Napoli at home. But 3-0 is an awfully big margin to try and come back from, especially in a Champions League semi-final against a team of the quality of Liverpool with the likes of Luis Diaz and Jude Bellingham and people like that in the team. To really make things worse, we couldn't even rest players in between because we had Real Madrid and we were still in with a chance of winning the title. So we went away to Real Madrid. We were at home to Real Madrid. Ander Barrenetxea picked up a goal just before half time to put us in front. Iker Quintanilla headed home from a Nico Serrano corner late on, and then a horrendous display of goalkeeping. Valverde shot from the edge of the box that Alvaro Fernandez managed to flap at and divert into the corner of the goal. And although we did manage to narrow the gap on Real Madrid, it does mean that they had a better head-to-head against us because they'd scored 3 goals in the 2 games. We'd only scored 2, despite the fact that we'd both won a game each. We then had the home leg against Liverpool. They'd brought in our former player Unai Venkador into the starting lineup. We'd gone with, again, our first choice lineup, except for the fact that Danny Vivian, who was so bad in the first leg, was left out, and Iozu Ochoa played at centre half. And unfortunately, Venkador popped up straight away with a free kick to really ruin the mood, and Evan Nielsen popped up with a late penalty just to secure a 5-0 aggregate win for them in the semi-final. And over the 2 legs, we really just didn't perform, didn't turn up, and just a shame to go out with such a whimper after such a great knockout stage. The league phase wasn't great, but in the knockout stage we'd done really well for ourselves, and to throw it away like that was really gutting. Real Madrid had then won before we went into our next game against Sevilla, which meant they'd already won the title. We took an early lead through Julian Guerrero, but really didn't dominate as much as we could have done. And they popped up with an equaliser after 52 minutes. And once that goal went in, neither side looked like going on to get a winner. And then we travelled to Celta Vigo in our penultimate game of the season and put on a bit of a show. It was one of our best performances for a couple of months, certainly in the league anyway. Julian Guerrero popped up with a hat-trick. Antonito added a one just before full time. They pulled one back on the hour, but we were far too strong and put in a really good performance. So hopefully we can go out and end the season at home to Osasuna on a high note. So we go into our final game in charge of Athletic Club. We've made plenty of changes to the starting lineup. It's a very young starting lineup. We've gone with Padilla in goal, Ochoa, Huarte, Quintanilla, and Ibanez at the back. Pascual and Barrera in the defensive midfielder positions, and Uregi, Guerrero, and Benito behind Unai Ribeiro. Guerrero with a free kick. Julian Guerrero picks it up. Unai Ibanez down the wing to Benito. Ribeiro always hit the ball. Right, Julian Guerrero with a free kick. Huarte rescues it. Then goes all the way back Pascual, Duarte, Ibanez. And we've gone all the way back to the keeper. That was a waste. Pascual, Barrera. Duarte driving forward. Pascual, Barrera. Uregi flicks it on. It's a weird animation from the goalkeeper. I don't actually know what happened there. So, Pascual into Barrera. Uregi flicks it on. The defender and Ribeiro go for it. Ribeiro's shot hits the defender. The keeper goes in completely the wrong direction. And it leaves Ribeiro with a tap in. I mean, we'll take it 1-0 up, but we've not been at our best. Not created enough chances. But we did get one. I mean, Osasuna, you would have thought, given what the circumstances, I mean, obviously they've got to play for a draw by the looks of it, because the draw would have kept them up as it was at the moment. But now, having conceded a goal, they've dropped down into the relegation zone. Right, are we going to catch them playing out from the back? Are they going to? They seem to have got past us. Oh, come on. Didn't track a runner. And he finished at the near post, finished at the far post. The right back didn't drop back in. Takes the touch. Volleys it past the keeper. And this is not how we wanted our spell in charge to end. We've been rather lacklustre in the second half. John Gray with the corner. Uregi going down the right hand side. This is going to be a draw, isn't it? Oh! I mean, that crossbar's probably kept Osasuna up and stopped us from winning our final game at Atletico. I mean, really, we should have hammered them on the chances. But, do you know what? There ends our spell in charge of Atletico Bilbao. And now it's time for our final end of season review. In terms of transfers in, obviously we signed Ander Baraneccia for $23.5 million. Still, I think it's a good deal in terms of the fee we were able to get him for. Unfortunately, he spent a lot of time injured and struggling for fitness and didn't really perform like we knew he could do. In terms of the players out, none of them really did an awful lot. Zubimendi did okay, but that was in Mexico. So, in terms of the league, the board were expecting us to qualify for the Champions League. We finished second. Somehow, that's only worthy of a C+, which seems a bit harsh. The board are pleased that the team qualified for the UEFA Champions League through their participation in the La Liga this season. However, at one point, we look like serious title contenders, so that does take the shine off this achievement overall. I mean, Real Madrid have won the title 10 seasons in a row. The closest we've got to them, the highest points total we've ever had during the save. I think a C+ is probably a bit of an understatement. I mean, we did start the season brilliantly. I mean, even up into that Barcelona game, so it was 15 games unbeaten to start the season. Then we lost to Real Madrid. We really missed Julian John Guerrero in that game. And then in January, 2 draws against Sporting de Gijón and Girona really cost us some momentum. And then losing away at Betis and losing at home to Valencia were really unforgivable kind of performances. And in the end, we drew too many games. I mean, the difference between us and Real Madrid is 4 draws. And drawing at home to Osasuna, drawing away at Sevilla. I mean, even that Atletico Madrid game, we should have probably done better. But I mean, we drew against Villarreal, and really those two draws in January were really bad. Champions League, we were expected to be competitive. Obviously, we made it all the way to the semi-final. A-, the board are pleased that the team reached the semi-final Champions League. Brilliant. I mean, the league phase wasn't great. I mean, we started off well. I mean, especially beating Liverpool at Anfield, but losing away at Bayern Munich, drawing with Sporting, losing to Man United, drawing with Leverkusen, and then losing on the last day of the league phase to Dijon. We were kind of tumbling out, but we knocked Bayern Munich out over 2 legs. We knocked Celtic out over 2 legs. We knocked Napoli out over 2 legs. And then just Liverpool was one step too far. I think the less said about the Copa del Rey this season, the better. We went in as defending champions, expected to challenge for the Copa del Rey. We lasted 2 games, one of which we beat Burgos on in extra time, and we lost to Huesca in extra time. Supercopa de España, we finally actually put in a performance in the competition. We've normally struggled really bad, but victory by Almeria, which was actually the biggest win of the season, saw us be able to get beat by Real Madrid in the final. And for the most part of the season, although we did experiment with a few different things, we did play that 4-2-3-1. And again, the attacking players were outstanding all season. You've got Unai Ribeiro, 31 goals, 11 assists. Nico Serrano, 19 goals, 12 assists. Julian Guerrero, 14 goals, only 5 assists. It's slightly disappointing. But Uregi, 7 goals, 15 assists. The only problem really was Julian Guerrero was such a key player for us in that number 10 role, and he missed some significant games through injuries. We managed to win Manager of the Month 4 times during the season and finished 3rd in the voting for Manager of the Year. It's quite impressive, I suppose. And that's the end of this episode. And unfortunately, that's the end of our time at the Athletic Club. I think we've probably taken them as far as we can. We've not really ever got close to winning the title, but we do have 2 Copa del Reys to our name. There will be one more episode in the series where we'll look back at what we've achieved in the 10 years at Athletic Club and also have a look at 5 years in the future, see who takes over, see if they're able to take the club to the next level. Thanks for watching and see you next time.